Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in this video we're going to talk about order of operations. When you're given a mathematical expression with a variety of operations in it, you'll be asked to simplify that following the rule that we're going to talk about. Order of operations, which you may see written as BEDMAS. You might also see PEDMAS. And that tells us the order that we do the operations. So first step is we do brackets or parentheses first. Once we've simplified what's inside our parentheses or brackets, then we look at our next operation, which is exponents. And we'll take a look at how we do that with examples shortly. Once we've taken care of any parentheses and exponents, then we look at our next operations, and those represent division and multiplication, and they have equal priority. So when you have a combination of division and multiplication, you just do those left to right. We do the same thing for addition, subtraction. They have equal priority. So when we have a combination of those, we do those left to right. My first example, if I have 10 plus 6 times 2, I do not work left to right. I have to look at my order of operations. I have addition, I have multiplication. Multiplication has higher precedence or priority than addition. So I need to do multiplication first, then addition. So 6 times 2. Now I can do my addition. In my next example, we have multiplication, addition, and division. We know that we need to do division and multiplication before we do addition. And we're going to do left to right. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Now I can do my addition. In my next example, we have multiplication. We have brackets or parentheses, and inside the parentheses, I have addition. So I need to do what's inside the brackets or parentheses first. So 1 plus 4 is 5, and I don't need my parentheses anymore. You can drop them at this point. Then we can do the multiplication. There's no more simplification to be done inside. So now I do multiplication. 2 times 5 is 10. My next example, we have a combination of operations: multiplication, subtraction, addition. And then we have 2 sets of grouping symbols. Those grouping symbols are done in a certain order. The innermost operation is going to be the parentheses, and you do that first. Then the next grouping symbol outside of that will be brackets. You would do that next. And then the next grouping symbol outside of that, if another grouping symbol is needed, would be braces. So start with simplifying what's inside your parentheses, then the brackets, then the braces. So in this example, I'm going to start by simplifying inside these parentheses. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Then I'm going to simplify what's inside of the brackets, because I still have to do all of my brackets or parentheses first before I do any of the other operations. So inside of this, I have 8 minus 5, which is 3. Now I can do my last operation of multiplication. I'd like to point out that this question is the same as the one that we just did. The only thing that's missing is the symbol for multiplication, the times symbol, the X. You will often see expressions written in this form without the symbol for multiplication, and it's important to understand that that is the operation that's implied. So even though we don't have a times there, we understand that when we have 3 beside another number or in something in brackets, it means multiplication. So we progress the same way. We do the parentheses first, the inner brackets first. 1 plus 4. And then 8 minus 5, I do the next set of brackets. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now I've written it as 3 times 3 in that manner rather than with the multiplication symbol. It means the same thing. My result is still 9. In our next example, we have a variety of operations. We have multiplication, even though we don't have the multiplication symbol there. We understand that it means multiplication. We have addition, we have subtraction, we have brackets or parentheses, and we have exponents. So we're going to follow our order of operations. We're going to simplify anything inside brackets or parentheses first. So we start 1 plus 4, we can simplify that, is 5. We do the same thing here. 4 minus 3 is 1. Now we still have parentheses, but there's no simplification to do within those parentheses. So we move on to our next operation, which is exponents. So we're going to have 3 times 5 squared. 5 times 5 is 25. Minus 2 times 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1. So I've done my parentheses or brackets, I've done my exponents. Now I do any multiplication or division. I have multiplication here, I have multiplication here. So 3 times 25 is 75. 2 times 1 is 2. 75 minus 2, which is 73. Next example, we're going to work with our innermost brackets or parentheses first. 2 plus 1 is 3. Then I work with this set of brackets. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Then I can do the operation of multiplication. 2 times 6 is 12. In this next example, we're going to do what's inside these parentheses first. Now, in order to simplify what's in this expression in these brackets, I'm going to be using division, but I have to do the exponent before I do division. So 3 squared is 3 times 3, which would be 9. Now I can do the division inside. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then I can finally do the multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4. This last example is very similar to the previous one, except that our exponent now is outside of the square brackets. So we're going to work at simplifying within the square brackets, and in order to do that, I have to do the parentheses first. So 2 plus 1 is 3. I do what's inside the brackets first. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now I do exponents. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. Now I can do the multiplication. 2 times 36 is 72. I want to talk about calculators because almost all calculators will follow order of operations, whether it's a calculator app on your phone or a scientific calculator. Almost any calculator you'll see will follow orders of operation. There are old-style, non-scientific calculators that will not follow order of operations, so I'm not talking about those, but the majority. And I want to just take a look at one example that illustrates the issue that might arise. If you were asked to take the average of two numbers, 20 and 30, the way that you're going to do that is you're going to add the two numbers and then divide by 2. So the correct answer will be 20 plus 30 is 50, divide by 2, which is 25. If you were to do that series of operations on your calculator, and you were to type in 20 plus 30 and then divide by 2, your calculator doesn't understand that you want to group 20 plus 30. It's going to follow the order of operations, so it will do the division first, get 15, add that to 20, and your answer will be 35. And you'll wonder how you can get an average of 35 when you're looking for the number in between 20 and 30. So in order to correct that, you can do one of two things. You can use parentheses, And that's what this means. If you were to write it in this form, when you have an expression in the numerator and you divide by the denominator, it's like there are brackets around that whole expression in the numerator, and the same thing if you have an expression in the denominator. So this really means parentheses 20 plus 30, and then divide by 2. So that forces your calculator to add before dividing. The other option, but I find it a little more awkward, but it's personal preference, is that you may total or equal after every operation so that you're forcing your calculator to do it in the order you intend.